Welcome back to another episode of Oritech. In our last one, we made our little barn outhouse that generates way more power than we need right now, which is fantastic. This whole thing is automating our wheat, which is in here, all the way into biomass, biofuel, into diesel, to power all of these fuel generators back here. In between episodes, I've also thrown in an assembler here to craft our clay catalyst beads, which is just one of the ingredients in order to turn biofuel into diesel. And I've actually been able to run the quarry a little bit, but I now have another issue where, unfortunately, the quarry is still too power hungry and we've run out of wheat and such. I'm hoping that it'll be able to balance itself out because we have run through all of our diesel and everything, and this was full of wheat for quite a while. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get back into the positive of power production. But for the meantime, I've turned off our quarry, which again is way over there. And instead, I'm going to focus on something probably way more important that I should have focused on way earlier ago. That's how you should say that. And you probably already know what it is based off the title. It is ore multiplication. So far, I have been just using a pulverizer, and can I see how it does? To turn iron into iron dust and small iron dust, which is a 1.3% conversion rate. Wait, no, 1.3 times conversion rate. Today though, I want to get it up to, I actually don't know what percent, because I don't really know how the fragment forge works. If it's my dream, then for 16 times, which doesn't feel right. But our goal is to get these things called iron gems, which can be alloyed into 3 iron ingots. We're gonna get a ton of multiplication here. I'm gonna figure out, once we build it all up, how much multiplication this actually does, and the title will be correct. I won't be lying in the title. So whatever that number is, that's what we're doing. But there are a lot of steps, as you can see here. I mean, this is a step, but we have way more. So let's try to work through it. I'm going to go from the ore itself because I'm kind of hoping we get silk touch at some point. But if we throw this in a fragmenting forge, we will get 2 raw iron and 1 raw nickel. That can then be used in another fragmenting forge to get iron clumps, small iron clumps, and small nickel clumps, which can then be centrifuged with some water, which is super easy to do. We could go sulfuric acid, but this is a little bit more complex and requires the nether and a pretty consistent supply of ender pearls, which we don't have. So I'm going with the easier one, water, into iron gems, which, as we saw, can be converted into iron ingots. So a big process, but actually not that many machines. And I'm kind of thinking / hoping we can fit it up here in this area. First though, we need to make our machines. Oh, and you also may be wondering what the heck is going on with my inventory. I made another hand drill so that we could hopefully get silk touch. However, there's a chance for unbreaking on this. I have efficiency on our existing hand drill, but if I can get unbreaking on this, does that mean the RF counts as durability? And that goes down at like a 66% slower rate than the standard non-unbreaking 3 hand drill? Because if so, that would be killer. That basically multiplies our capacity of our hand drill by 3. So if that's the case, that's sweet. I've also gotten some comments about some exoskeleton helmet and armor and such, which gives you certain buffs and bonuses, like different speed and flying speed, and prevents all fall damage, which is something I'm gonna want to get into. However, they're pretty expensive for early game stuff, so I'm thinking ores first. How about that? But let's get into crafting stuff. We first need 2 fragment forges. These require a new thing that we haven't made yet, and that seem pretty advanced and fancy. They are called fragmenting forges and are used in a lot of the later game stuff. One of the things is an atomic forge, which, if I go to the right spot, can make a deutranium ingot, which, just as a reminder, is needed in the crafting recipe for these machine add-on extenders that I was really hoping we could get for our quarry to make it Fortune 3. So it's a step in the right direction, but we need this, which includes fluxite. Fluxite is something, again, that we don't have, and you can either make it in a centrifuge with platinum clumps, which can be gotten either in an oil refinery or fragmenting forge, which again, we can't make. We could also do it in a particle collision thing, which is way too expensive, which kind of means the only option we have is an enderic laser, which seems absolutely insane. Oh, but we've already made one because we have 2 destroyer blocks. Okay, so maybe it's not that advanced. And I guess I was right. Here we go, we have one. Well, in the descriptions of this thing, it says that if we point it, and I don't know how to point it, but if we point it at a geode grower amethyst doohickey, it will first speed up the growth of that geode, and also when a full amethyst bud grows, I guess in this picture as we can see here, it'll turn it into fluxite, and I think go into its own inventory, which is great. I do need, however, to find a place for this to go and then somehow get power to it. So in order to get ourselves some of these amethyst buds, I think I'm just gonna dig straight down right here for no particular reason. And I guess it might be a few more than I initially anticipated. Oh, well, that's crazy. What are the odds of this? Us just randomly finding this geode. Yeah, I might have used this, but honestly, you could look it up too if you don't have the cheaty cam mod. It's mostly that I just don't find it fun to go searching for geodes for 45 minutes when all of that is going to get cut out of the video anyway. Ooh, there are actually some geodes high up here. I'm high-key banking on this thing being able to go an insane distance. So what I'm going to do is just dig a little tube down to, I guess let's do 2 of these in case we want to do more. I don't know how quick this is actually gonna be. So our amethyst geodes are way down here, and I'm kind of hoping that if I place this here, give ourselves a core block, uh-oh. How do I point this somewhere? I need a target designator, which I have, and then I need to go back down. Oh, great. So I want to click on our budding amethyst, and I actually think I didn't need to do that. I think it just points in a direction. Am I going to die here? That would be so embarrassing. Okay. And give it to you. There we go. It's facing downward. This should just shoot downward, and what I'm gonna do is block up this hole that I almost fell in and go sleep. But in order to power our enderic laser that's way over here, we could run a tube thing, but I'm pretty confident these can also be used to power other things. I was gonna say, let's jump down there and set the target designator. I have absolutely and terribly failed the water bucket clutch. But now that we're down here, let's set the target designator. I guess maybe I need to do it to this block. And then if I click it to you, is it too far? I think it might be too far. Let's bring this thing down and hope that it'll work. No. Huh. Could it potentially be that the block that I connected it to, quote unquote, broke? And maybe it just needs some to be put back? Okay. Oh! 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 Wait, that was the reason. Don't even ask me how or why that's the case, but this thing is working. Well, maybe. So this is powering this, and this, oh, it's doing a thing. Oh, it's supercharging it. It's growing way faster than the one like literally right next to it. This is fantastic. We have 9 fluxite. 10. Honestly, this might be too quick. This might be too fast. These can be turned on and off with a lever. So I'm gonna go and actually turn off this one since just it's easier to access. But I'm pretty sure power that on, that turns off. Sweet. But we have a little bit of fluxite. I actually don't know how much I need of this. I could make turbo fuel with it. Honestly, that may be worth doing at some point soon. Because that, I think, oh, what does that actually do? It either doubles or triples the effectiveness, quadruples the effectiveness of our fuel source. But now that we have our fluxite, we can actually start getting started on these flux gates. These require processing units, which is something we've made before. And these things are relatively expensive, but we can afford it. And if we pair that with some platinum ingots and fluxite, we can get our fancy schmancy flux gates. And with those, we can make our fragment forges. I'd need another one of these. Fragment forges. We need 2 of these, remember. We then also need a centrifuge, which, oh boy, is so expensive. I'm fairly confident we have everything we need now. Now the goal is to figure out where everything should go. So we have not a ton of space that isn't just windows down here. And I'm actually thinking maybe we move our bed at some point soon. So I'm gonna try to lay our stuff out right here. And let's just fill this in until that makes that. Okay. So we have our fragment forge here. It actually looks like that's a pretty good spot for it. We can add add-ons here and here, and then also on this side. We actually should be able to break this block potentially on this part of the fragment forge here. We totally can. As I've already walked us through, one fragment forge is going to go into another one. I need more machine cores, but now we've gone ahead and made this. This one, we also should be able to break out some of our wall. If I can do some hardcore parkour, holy cow. Should be able to break out this corner and that one there. So we replace this. And then we have our two fragment forges in there. We then need a centrifuge. And this is actually going to have a fluid add-on and a pump attached to it. So our little ladder system up to the second floor area is going to probably need to get moved. But honestly, I think we're okay to move it over to this side. Then I've finagled in a little water source spot right here for our pump system. I need to grab another bucket of water and avoid those pillagers. We can have a water system here, pump like, I assume this will be able to pump out water. Pump going to our centrifuge. And then just to show you where we are in the process, we have our water, our iron clumps going into our gem system, which then needs to be alloyed together with itself to make our final product. So then I'm actually going to squeeze this in here. This is going to perfect. We can put in our hidden add-on back there, and then we will extend you up to full size. And this will have an add-on over on that hidden side and also here. So we should be able to route power to everywhere that we need, which is kind of actually crazy. I think I'm going to do that underneath these things and just make it look industrial as heck. Ah, right. There's water right here. Let me go grab our energy pipes. I went and collected our energy pipes. We can pop those in. This should look pretty good. We'll find out. I do legitimately have high hopes for this. Oh, and we can hide it from the outside. My high hopes have gotten even higher. This is actually really, really good. So now I just need to place in this conductor here, and all of these up here should now be connected to power. So just confirming, looking at all of you, you have water, but no power. That makes total sense. All right, yep, all of those have power. And oh, no, don't do that. What is it even turning into? I don't know. What do you turn into? Oh, nickel dust. I don't know what the purpose of this is. I assume it's something. But let us grab some item pipes and connect all these up. Because at the moment, they'll work. They'll work great. But I have to manually move everything, which isn't really ideal. So what I want to happen is from items to go from this one over to this one. I need to right-click U so that the arrow is pointing outward, going into there. And then from this, we go into here. And then one more going into U. This all should be connected up. Now we need to test it. So this one is used to convert our ore into the raw versions of whatever we're cooking. And then the raw versions go into here. This is where we have to put in our stuff because currently I don't have any ores. However, I want to put on our add-ons first. So before we add anything to it, you could see productions can be doubled by attaching a yield add-on. Only one yield add-on is supported. So we can only put on one, but that'll give us a general understanding of what we need. So let me head over to the side that's annoying to get to because we're not going to remove this. And I think actually the most annoying one is going to be right here. So I'm going to put it here and then we can hide it away. But now that one has a yield add-on on it and we should get whatever the yields give us. So let's throw something in here and see what yields we actually get. I think it's going to go away basically instantly. 1, 6, and 6. Huh. And as you saw, these small copper clumps went in, which were in this spot here. Which is not really ideal. That probably means we need a filter block potentially right there. We got 3 copper ingots from 1 raw copper ore. So we're already at 3 times speed. I want to quickly see how that happened. Did this produce... I guess, hold on, maybe it does. It does produce 2 times. So this already is 3x production, 3.6 times production. And we have our clumps, which I can't put back into the output, but I'm fairly confident this will turn into full ingot bits if we used them as such. So let me grab ourselves a multiplier of inventories. I'm legitimately baffled by what I meant for inventory multiplier. I meant an item filter. So let's do this again and grab our raw copper. And I'm actually going to take all of this out because this will now convert ourselves into 2 of these full clumps. And we could put our copper clump in there. That will then be filtered out and put into this, as we saw. But now I also need to do this for every clump that we have in the game, which is going to be a little bit of a pain, but that's okay. However, with... is that math really right? 3 raw copper, we have gotten 5 times ingot output of the same rawness and 2 times output of the supplementary ingot type. Holy cow. It's not exactly 7 times output, but it's relatively there. The next thing I want to do is see if we can add yield outputs to any of the other things here. So let's pop one on our centrifuge as well as over on this side, our foundry. And then we can see if this actually doubles stuff. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and I'm actually going to remove the connection between our foundry and centrifuge just to see what the output of this actually is. Oh, we can see this does not get crafted into an expected output. That feels a little strange. Okay, this is something we can fix in a second. What? Where did our items go? Oh, okay. Hold on. Maybe my sentence was wrong. Why is this not centrifuging? Is it because I have a yield add-on on it? No. If I'm hovering over this, there's 5 copper clumps in there. How strange is that? It was working before, I think. Oh, I truly don't know. Okay, so it produced 2 there. Does the yield add-on do anything? I don't really get the point of this. Like, why have a yield add-on and add-on slots if they don't affect anything other than the fragment forge and the quarry? Well, let's add this back, have it pull from here, and see if this converts into more than 3 ingots per each one. Of course not. And again, why have them? Why even have a yield on be a thing? Yeah, and I guess it kind of says it here. I was hoping that maybe something else would do something here, but apparently not. So, not a big deal. We can use these for our quarry at some point, but a little bit devastating that we can't duplicate this more and more. However, now, it looks terribly ugly. So I think we should make it look a little bit prettier. And with those modifications, this is looking quite a bit better. I've honestly forgotten what it looked like before, but this is better. This is cool. We have all of our pipes and stuff in the ground now, except for the ones that are obviously on display here. I'll explain kind of why we needed to do this, but the main thing is that we didn't have room under the ground to do it. So I thought I might as well make it decoration-y. But it's basically the same process. Our items go up through here, through our item filter, and down into our centrifuge, and then basically the same thing. I have a chest here just for funsies. But let's grab ourselves a ton of our raw ingredients, and I guess set this thing to work. One thing I didn't really consider was having a chest to put items into our fragment forge. No worries, we can see it working. What we should see... Oh, I need to sometimes pop that out so we have our gold going into there. We should also see that these are now getting generated. We have gold clumps and such. We should see the small gold and copper clumps also being stored in here. And we should see these get combined. You saw it went down to 3. That is because we have our advanced compacting upgrade. This thing compacts these smaller clumps of stuff into the bigger ones, basically an auto crafter, so that we only have the normal clump sizes. And oh boy, we already have a ton of stuff. Again, I'm fairly confident this is I'm gonna count it as 7 times processing power. It's probably only 5 and kind of a bit, but I'm counting it as 7. I've also grabbed myself an efficiency and 2 speed add-ons to give to this forge right here. Also that I can make this thing go way faster, and it only uses a bit more energy. This may be too much. We'll kind of see. So far though, it looks like we have plenty of diesel, and we may even want even more speed add-ons to this. But for now, this is pretty good. Let's AFK this and see how much stuff we get at the end. It would be funny if this is a time lapse, but it would just be so boring. We'll just skip ahead. I have let this run overnight, and for whatever reason, when the backpack fills up, it kind of glitches itself out. So we'll need to increase the size of this backpack. However, we have so much gold and copper. This is ridiculous. This is still full, guys. This is still full. We still have copper in here and a full stack of raw copper here. What am I even supposed to do? This is gonna take like 30 years. And our nickel? We have blocks of it. This is gonna take forever. This is the best problem to have. We have so many ingots now. It is legitimately fantastic. We have, what, a stack of copper and 4 gold ingots? Let's see how much we have once I've imported all of this. But this is insane. I guess I should have assumed that 5 or 7 times ore processing is as ridiculous as it seemed. 2,000 copper and 1,500 gold. This is ridiculous. Well, I guess let me process the remainder of these. I'm gonna have to increase the size of this backpack and probably get a stack upgrade and a backpack down here as well. But otherwise, this is working great. Let me fix those 2 things and then AFK the rest of our ores and see how much of everything we have. I feel like we're gonna get close to 2,000 iron ingots and way over 2,000 raw nickel. Days have gone by. I'm not even exaggerating. Over 24 hours has passed since that last clip of me standing in this corner right here, and every so often, I don't know, coming up to check on if this was ever gonna be done. These are the small versions, which won't ever go through here, but this thing took so long because we have so many ores and resources and all that stuff. However, everything is done. All of these are empty. Processing has finished, and the contents is all in this backpack right here. If a creeper blew up right now, I would lose all of my wealth, all of my money gone in an instant. But let's check it out. I have had to combine stuff into block versions because I don't have enough space. Look how a full inventory of platinum ingots, bro. What are you even saying? It's gonna take me 30 minutes to bring everything down into this storage system thing. It is it's ridiculous. Let's pick it up. Let's pick it up and drop it down here. It'll be easier to see the exact number of everything that we have once it's in the storage system, because as you can see, that full inventory of platinum, 1.3k, an insane amount. We also got some other stuff, uranium dust and plutonium dust. I'm gonna be honest, don't really know what that's for other than bombs or nuclear reactors. All of our items are now out of our backpack, and 7.1 thousand copper, almost 6,000 nickel, 3,500 iron, 3,500 gold, and the 1.3 thousand platinum that we saw before. And also just a healthy 100 fluxite. We are set on ores. This is actually incredible. And actually, while I was AFKing, I realized that there is a Silk Touch add-on that we can add to the quarry. And honestly, it's cheap and, dare I say, even affordable, and something that we can pretty easily add on so that we, with the quarry, can put our ores that are silk touched into our fragment forge and get 2 times output from here that then goes into the 2 times output into everything else. And we have everything we need to make our silk touch add-on. So I think it's time to head over there and replace, I think we just have 1 yield add-on, but we may have 2. To replace 1 or both of those with our Silk Touch add-on. Okay, yeah, so we have, it looks like just 1 yield add-on, which is good for our use. Pop that there. I don't know if I've shown this in a video, but I've also added in a diamond backpack with some stack upgrades, just so that we could store all the cobblestone and stuff that we're going to be getting, because, I mean, even the dirt and such is ridiculous. So, yeah, we're gonna continue on with everything here, but I should probably get a destroyer upgrade thing for snowballs so that it'll auto delete snowballs. But for now, it's not a huge issue. Still making good progress on it. But before we can get sidetracked with quarry stuff, I need to go make the armor that I promised that I would make once we made our ore upgrades and such. So this exosuit armor, I've been told, has similarities to iron armor, except the buffs that we talked about. These aren't crazy expensive, as I've said. They just require a lot of these reinforced plating and either motors or batteries or silicone, which is pretty easy and cheap. I've been smelting up some stone here just so that we can get some to make, what are they called? The reinforced plating here. So we can actually make ourselves the helmet, which grants night vision. We need the exo chestplate, which requires an advanced battery, which we probably have to make this way. It's just nickel and fluxite. Okay, that's affordable for us. So we've made our advanced battery. I think we also have enough reinforced plating. So we have our chest plate. This looks like it needs to be charged. It has 5 million RF. Okay, 500k should be good for right now. That's crazy. I didn't really comprehend the M after the 5. And I think we can now make our exo leggings and boots. I saw the night vision pop on. Speed, and I think that was fall damage, right? I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel a huge difference. I love the way this looks, by the way. Mostly on the back, like an exoskeleton would be. It looks pretty cool. We have night vision. All of our stuff might be charged? No. So this should say it charges equipped energy items. Oh. It has to be in your offhand, potentially, to charge. But that's pretty cool. And then our movement speed is increased as well as our flying speed if we ever get an elytra, I assume. And then no fall damage. Cool. And it made a noise to be like, oh, you're good. You're alive. You're safe. No fall damage. And I mean, with that, I feel like this was a fairly successful episode. We have, I'm gonna call it 7 times ore processing, since we have too many ingots now. We have made 7,000 copper, 6,000 nickel, 3,500 gold and iron, and 1.3 thousand platinum. And that's all done just by taking over a corner of our house for some processing. This is super sweet. In the next episode, I think we're gonna have to start connecting up some of our processing to one another, mostly the stuff over at the quarry with our refined storage system, since I hope that we can now afford whatever it needs from us in terms of those processing. But that'll have to be in the next episode, and that's gonna do it for this one. So thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like. If you're somehow not subscribed, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good one.